Tisa is the name of the Parsha. And can anybody give me the what we would consider the Sunday school version of this week's Parsha?
Malted calf, gold melted down.
Malted calf, and can anybody elaborate on what's going on with the way it's mainly taught? Is what I'm getting at. How is this mainly taught?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that the Israelites were given gold by the Egyptians when they left, and so they used all this gold and they melted down into the idol.
Correct.
They're also doing the census.
They're taking the
And you
census.
don't count Jews.
So I've got to tell them to count.
Because
Yeah.
they're doing
That's correct.
charity. This Parsha's about charity.
Okay.
That don't
So-
sound like Sunday school to me.
And so,
well.
and so anyway, God.
I don't ever remember this in Sunday school.
God tells him to. He said to Moses, "Hey, when you count the children of Israel, when you take a census, all right, and you do all this, you have to do it in this way, and to atone for your soul." So how in the world could that happen? And then he tells them what to do, and then he tells them to make some stuff, and the laver and then the incense and all these deals and all the utensils. He said to make the Ark of the Tablets and the utensils and the menorah and the altar and all these different things. And where's all this taking place at?
During the Exodus, isn't it?
Yeah, but where?
Well, Mount Sinai.
Mount Sinai.
Yeah.
All right. And where are they at? And what world level are they currently at? Are they in Asiya, Yetzirah, Berea, or Atzilut? Atzilut. All right.
Whoa. How could they be absolute?
The last 49 days have culminated in elevating every single level to the level of Atzilut.
And then they just brought back down when they melted the
All right?
calf.
That would explain something that's pretty interesting. And that would be that this is the only time that God spoke to an entire people at one time.
That's why
But
it said, and they saw the sounds of letters.
Yeah.
It didn't say they heard the voice of Hashem and they saw,
Yeah.
So why
because
in the world?
they're seeing, you know.
But the thing about it is, they weren't individuals. They were all one thing.
That's right.
So God just spoke. He was speaking to one thing at that time, but which was the entire nation of Israel. But if they were in Atzilut, they were one thing.
That's why he said one word and it all emanated.
That makes
Okay?
a whole bunch
And so,
of sense.
and then the people, we have a problem here because we have the people and we have the children of Israel.
You know who the people are.
All right, we know, and we know who the people are, and it happened at a certain time here, and we're gonna go into what all's going on, and he tells them specifically remove the earrings, only the earrings.
Right.
What's going on with the earrings? We're gonna get into that. So Aaron makes the golden calf. Bless his heart, he doesn't know what he's doing. Or
But
did
he does.
Oh, he's always supposed to know what they're doing.
And Moses doesn't know what's going on.
Oh.
And Joshua, he don't know what's going on either. And so, the story gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And we see a guy named Betzael, and Betzael, he's the only one in the story who knows what's going on. And so, and then God shows him he takes him up and he puts him in the cleft of a rock because he can't see my face. But then he tells him, "Oh, I only speak to Moses face to face." Well, if you can't see his face, then so is the Torah lying? Now, And we go on and they make the molten calf, and this calf comes out, and Israel made the golden calf, and Israel sinned, and they caused the whole thing to collapse, and the whole world to fall, and everybody in the world blames Aaron, blames Moses. I mean, it's these crazy Jews. They, here we go again with the Jews that don't know anything about anything that's going on in faith. And that's where we are. So, let's dig in and find out what's really going on here. Number one, what on earth, we have to ask ourselves this question. What on earth were they thinking?
They're probably trying to fix something. 'Cause that's why every time they get in trouble, they're trying to fix something.
Okay? Very good. They're trying to fix something. What are they trying to fix?
They're trying to make it for the loss from when they left Egypt. They felt more secure there even as a slave.
What is this story about?
It's like 2:14.
I wanted God's presence.
I think aren't they
what's
trying
the-
to fix the sparks? Aren't they trying to fix their
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But what's the story about? What's the story of Noah about? What's every story that we've gone through been about?
Redeeming the sparks. I mean, I don't know. Redeeming the sparks.
It's about the Garden of Eden and creation.
Well,
Every story that we have discussed and read is nothing more than an iteration of the sin in the Garden of Eden, which is nothing more than an iteration of the sin of the fallen sparks of the tohu. That's the only thing that's here. The only thing that's here is the shattering of the vessels. Nothing else exists. Nothing else exists. It's only the world of tohu and tikkun. He and his name. There is nothing else here. So every time we see a story in the scripture, it is only an iteration of that. A different person's name, a different woman's name. This happens, that happens. Boom, 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 boom. All right? So, before we get into what does the raising up mean? What does what does the parsha mean? Let's go ahead and start with that. The parsha means, kitisa means to raise up or to elevate one's head, which means to count. And this is where it says in the Psalms, and I know the number of hairs on his head. Because, as Teresa discussed, it is illegal, it is against Torah to count the number of Jews. So if they're going to count the quorum, they count how many ties the men have on. Or they count how many hats they have on. There's 10 hats here, okay, we have a quorum. Alright? Alright? And he takes half a shekel. What is a shekel? A shekel's 20. What's half of that? 10. Alright? So, and it's very important here because it says you have to do this to atone for one's soul so that there will not be a plague among you. Alright? And this whole thing is going to always go back to the secret of the beard. It always goes back. And what is so significant about the beard? What does the beard cover?
The 13 attributes of God.
Yes, they are the 13 attributes of God. But what does the beard cover?
The face.
No. It's on the face, but it covers something else.
Covers the chest, covers the neck.
It
the
covers the neck. As we've learned through our Torah study, we have expansion and contraction. Where's the only place in the body you have contraction? Everything else is expanded.
You talking about the size of it is the small?
Yeah. You're hitting, and then it goes back out. See? And so where does a wild beast attack its prey?
The neck.
It's the most vulnerable spot. Where does evil attack? The neck. Because it goes to where constriction goes to constriction. Guvurot wants to have more guvurot. evil associates with evil. This is the secret of the golden calf. All right? Now, and we will explain, I will explain as we go. All right? So, you have to understand that this story is the story of creation in the garden. Who is Moses?
Adam.
Who is the children of it? Who is Israel?
Eve.
Okay? Who is the heir of Ra?
The Nakash.
The Nakash. Now is the story making more sense. Once you know who the players are, you know the game. Okay? Because they were in union. Moshe and the people were in union. They were all on the mountain. Here is the problem. They were at the level of?
Atzilut.
Is there any sin in Atzilut?
No.
No.
Then how in the world, in that world, could it happen?
Could what happen?
Because they're
The golden calf!
Right.
The Arab
Why did they
Ra
make it
were left.
an idol if they were in that level?
But the Arab Ra weren't on that level.
Yeah, they were. Was the Nakash not in the garden? Absolutely he was. Of course he was.
So what are you saying? You're saying
like the
that the
golden
golden
calf.
calf was
building-
eaten from the apple, or
I'm
No.
building the Kasha question. I'm building this whole thing. I'm trying to
So
build
the
this whole
golden
thing up
calf
for
was
you.
a serpent.
no, the golden calf was the eating of the apple, so to speak.
The temptation.
The
The
sin.
temptation.
Yeah, I mean, let's build it.
It was the sin in the garden. It was the action of the sin of the garden.
It was the action-
It was
yeah.
the eating of the tree. It was eating of the tree of good and evil.
Sure.
It was that thing.
It was
instigated by
it was
the
that
heir of Ra.
thing because who built it? The people. Then why did Israel receive the punishment?
Because they
Same reason Adam
They
did.
didn't protest.
If we're in Atzilut,
Hold on a minute. Yeah.
if we're in Atzilut, this is the level of the mind. If you think it,
It is it.
it is it.
So they just thought about it.
What did Adam do?
He thought.
He made a mind bridge, as we've talked, over here to the tohu, and what did it do? Bang. It gave it power. Now, we're gonna go through and we're gonna, some of it I may have to paraphrase, some of it we'll really read through, but that is what is going on here. It's very interesting. At this point, everything was supposed to be over with. How many generations were there of the tohu? We studied this before.
974.
974. How many generations from Adam to Moshe?
10.
26.
26. There was 10 from Adam to Noah, 10 from Noah to Abraham, and 6 from Abraham to Moshe. Yud, hey, vav, hey. 26. 26. What does that equal?
1,000.
1,000. What is this, Keter?
1,000.
1,000. Game over.
No.
Game over.
Possibly. Hopefully.
Somebody still wanting to
And
play?
they're in Atzilut. There's no sin in Atzilut. There's not even an evil inclination in Atzilut. But what were the Arab Rav told? Y'all stay on the periphery. On the outskirts. Y'all can't get in the center. So, as we know, Netzach and Hod, even Netzach and Hod of Berea is overlapping light from Atzilut. Okay, that's all hanging out. Netzach and Hod. Where does the evil inclination attach itself to? Netzach and Hod. Who were the examples of Netzach and Hod? Nadav and Avihu. But who is their counterpart? We're going to see. The two guys that make the golden calf. And they figured out how to do it from Moshe. We're going to see. Now, don't let me forget to bring that up. because it's there 18 times in Torah the word the people are mentioned. What is 18 signifying? Yesod.
Spine.
The
Yeah.
spine. Yesod. The word chai. Okay? Yeah. So we see that this is crucial. Ramban Maimonides says it was not idolatry.
Which part? The part about making the calf?
Yeah, because they never worshipped it.
So when
They never did. But
But who is they?
children of Israel,
Israel.
Aaron never even worshipped it. They just made it. They never actually worshipped it.
Well, why would they make it?
Well, we're going to find out. And it fell into its own klipa. But it was not their intention. Their intention was not for it to fall into the klipa. You see, they had figured something out. If they're all hesed, what is tohu? Unmitigated guvarot.
Right.
What does hesed need?
Balance.
Guvarot.
Guru needs guru.
So what were they doing? They were making the ultimate guvarot. So, we shall go on. Now, Moses was up there 40 days. This is the final mem. 40 days, as in 40 days of the 40 days of proto time and all that. This is the incubation period. We know it's 40 days before a soul comes to the earth. There's a lot of 40s, that we've covered in here. And Moses knew what he was doing. Aaron knew what he was doing. Joshua was with him. So, why is Joshua always with Moshe? And there's something really cool here in this parsha. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see, yeah. Here we go. 33. This is page 505 in the Chumash. 33 and 11. Hashem would speak to Moses face to face as a man would speak to his fellow. Then he would return to the camp. His servant, who's his servant?
Josh.
It says, comma, his servant, comma, Joshua, son of Nun, comma, a lad, comma, would not depart from the tent. What is going on? Why does he say his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a lad? Joshua's, there's some discrepancy here. He's either 42 years old or 56 years old. Why would he be called a lad? What do we know about Scripture when we see the term servant, lad, youth?
Yeah, but if you go back to even page 489, the person who was in charge of the construction of the tabernacle was 13.
That's Bezalel. Yes. Yeah, why was he 13? What do we know about the number 13? We discussed that a little bit ago.
Where you at? 33:11. Where?
33, chapter 33, verse 11.
Page 505.
Exodus.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I don't know. Well, let's go here.
Chad, tell me who this is.
The lad is the same as the servant.
You're correct. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So who is that?
Metatron.
Metatron. He divided it into three parts. A Catrael, Metatron, and Sandalphon. Joshua is Metatron. Who is Moshe? See the iteration? Because they're an absolute,
I
man.
have a question
How
also.
did- how did-
Metatron was an angel.
Huh?
I always thought Metatron was an angel.
He is.
Okay.
But what are you when you're an absolute?
Yeah, a
You
spirit.
follow me? See the holography of the thing? Moshe is a Katriel. Joshua is the thing connecting that to down here. What's down here? Aaron. It's the whole structure. It always has to be that way. It's the whole structure.
It kind of makes me think, the midrash where they were saying that Israel was saying, they were so close to God, their souls were leaving their bodies.
They were.
They did.
They did.
Because they were Nazi loot.
Because they were in absolute. That's exactly what it says. And when God spoke, they would die. That's exactly what's
That's
going
what's
on.
going on.
This is happening on a level so
that's a higher
high.
level than the higher
So when
level.
God spoke, their soul lifted out of their body and went up that slope.
Yeah, because you're in holy ground. It doesn't mean anything to the body. He wants to talk to your neshama.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you all a picture of where a mental picture of what's going on and where this is going. And this 40-day, the final mem is all about this. The final mem's Mashiach. This is Messiah. Who are they? They are Adam. They are Adam. It is Adam. It is Hava. It is Nakash. It's all inverted in one fell swoop. So, everything always begins with good intentions, even if it fails. It always begins with good intentions. The Talmud says it was impossible for that generation to commit sin. It was impossible. Absolutely impossible. Because they were in Atzilut. It was also impossible for King David to sin. Because he had 70 years of the soul of Adam. It was impossible for him to sin. And we're going to get into why it was.
I got a quick question. Going back just so I can try to understand this here. Panaim el Panaim.
Faces.
The
God
face-
of the faces.
The God of the faces. Okay. Is Javier. Havayer.
Havayer.
Okay. Let me read this verse out of this little interesting version of the Bible. Same one, 33:11.
Okay.
The same verse we're talking about. So I'm not off. I'm on subject.
Okay. Go ahead. I can tell by the letters you were saying you were on the subject.
And Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh spoke to Moshe, Panaim el Panaim, as a man speaks to his Chavaer. And he returned unto the camp, but his Eved, Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out from the tabernacle. Isn't that an interesting
Yeah,
translation?
Because he was Metatron. He didn't leave.
Bethel was
Joshua.
Joshua. This is a very interesting.
Yeah.
I ain't figured it out yet, but it's a very interesting.
All right, let's go over just a couple things here that I thought were pretty cool. For Chad, I'm reading out of this book, the Encyclopedia of Personalities, page 119. The word Betzael, this 13-year-old boy, his name means the shadow of God.
Interesting.
All right. This is a name which the people called him,
Bethel.
Bezalel. He has 5 other names, which I'm not
It's
going to
pretty
go into.
typical though.
He was 13 years old when he built the tabernacle. The Holy One, blessed be He, asked Moses and said, Moshe, is Bezalel worthy in your eyes? And Moshe replied, Master of the universe, if he is worthy in your eyes, then surely he is worthy in mine. Nonetheless, God said, ask Israel, Moses went and asked them, "Is Bezalel worthy in your eyes?" And they replied, "If he is worthy in the eyes of the Holy One, blessed be he, and in your eyes, surely he is worthy in ours." For his extreme dedication to the tabernacle, the Holy One, blessed be he, did not withhold his reward. Scripture made him known made him known over every item that was made for the tabernacle, the table, the altar, and all the utensils. Bezalel went up to Mount Sinai, where he was shown how to construct, the construction of the tabernacle as if it were already made in heaven, which it
I
was.
think I'd heard that.
All right, and Bezalel knew how to join the letters between heaven and earth, and how everything was created. In every matter that he had not learned from his teacher, and his own ideas corresponded with that which had been taught to Moses at Sinai. When the Holy One, blessed be he, told Moses, "Go tell Bezalel to make me a tabernacle, an ark, and vessels," Moshe reversed the order and told Bezalel to build an ark, vessels, and a tabernacle. But Bezalel said, "Our teacher Moses, the way the world is built is that a person builds a house, and afterwards he puts the vessels in it. And you tell me to build an ark, a vessel, and a tabernacle? Where shall I put the vessels that I make? Did not the Holy One, blessed be he, perhaps tell you, make the tabernacle, an ark, then the vessels?" And Moses said, "Surely you are in the shadow of God, that you knew this." So Bezalel made the ark, made the 3 arks, and
Tabernacle.
the tabernacle, and all the utensils. So
Yeah, 'cause at 13, they're almost argumentative age.
yeah. So anyway, I thought that was some pretty cool stuff. There's another couple characters that we're going to come across here, and Laban and Balaam, who we know their connection, and their sons, the sons of Balaam, are the sorcerers of Egypt, who left with Moshe, who built the golden calf. And how did they know how to do this? Remember when Moshe was getting ready to leave Israel, whom did he have to take with him?
Yeah, he had to take
He had
Joseph
to take
with
Joseph.
him.
He had to take Joseph with him. And what is Joseph called? He's called the
Ox.
ox. So Moses takes a golden plate that says, "Arise, ox, arise, O ox," and the daughter of Pharaoh shows him where he's in the Nile, and he throws it in the Nile, and up comes
The cast.
Joseph.
Joseph. Well, guess what? Eunice and Yumbus, or whatever his name is, I'll read it in a minute. Guess what they do? They get the plate. And the plate's made of gold. And one of the things with the earrings, the first thing is the hearing. Hear, O Israel. So they request the earrings because that's the first emanation of light. And these guys are working on a cosmic rocket ship of the other side. All right? And so with this, they work there, and I'm going to read to you exactly how they did it because I think the story's fascinating. So with this, they one of them distracts Aaron, while the other one's putting this pan in the fire and just pouring the gold in, and then he says, "Arise, ox," and it just comes out itself, just like at the Nile. What one side, you see that over here, Hasidim and Guvarot, Hasidim and Guvarot. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the story. Now, the Talmud says, Rashi says, that the reason they sinned was so that no man could ever say, I cannot repent. That's the reason David did what he did. So no man could ever say, I cannot repent. But we have an inherent problem here. And what is our problem?
Who's going to tell them where the calf came from?
Well, it's just like the story is. How could they possibly do that? And they did it. And they did it so they could say no man can ever say that you can't come to God. Because nothing is that bad. But they were in Atzilut. There was not going to be any more people. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Once it was over, it was going to be over. There was not going to be any more people. You see the kasha. So what is our answer? And that's where we've got to get to today.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Is this golden calf related at all to the other golden calf that they used for battle, where people were hiding in it for battle?
Of like the Trojan
Like,
horse and
yeah.
stuff? I would imagine. And there's been lots of, there's one pagan society that would take, they had like a bull, and they would put a baby in it, and then they would light the fire under it, and the sound of the crying baby would, come out of the bull's nose, and it sounded like the bull was laughing, and it was a sacrifice to Baal and all these things. So they've always used stuff like that. But was it a golden calf?
It says it was.
Because there's several. It talks about and on the Sabbath you shall rest your ox and your ass. Okay. There's a secret there.
Well, you're,
Hesed
is
and
it
Guvarot.
Hesed and Guvarot? But I mean, what would be, that'd be
the
both
donkey?
Guvarot.
The donkey, the ass is Guvarot to Guvarot.
Well, what is the ox?
Guvarot.
Oh,
So
I
the
see.
donkey is the Guvarot of Guvarot.
Yeah. The golden calf was half donkey, half ox, end to end. What did Balaam ride? And it spoke, right? Mm-hmm. So there's more stuff going here, and as you read through the Parsha next time, you'll look and you'll see first issue a donkey and redeem it with a lamb or a kid. I mean, you'll start seeing where if you don't do it, you got to break the donkey's neck. You'll start seeing that all, and then all these things you shall do, and you shall not. In other words, in chapter 34 here, every womb is mine, as well as the livestock that produces the first issue of an ox or sheep, the first issue of a donkey or a lamb. See what's going on here? And you should not be before me empty-handed. And then he starts going into the festivals of the weeks, the festivals of harvest, and you shall come to the slaughter, bring the blood offerings. He's talking about leavened bread. He's talking about the feast offerings of Pesach until morning, the first of your produce, the temple of Hashem, and do not cook a kid in his mother's milk. Why throw that in right there? He's sitting there talking about all the feasting. Don't cook a kid in his mother's milk. And we learned last time that when he's talking about that, don't mix the lower world with the upper world. Mm-hmm. That's what the feasts are. And right. So what's the lower world? The lower world is evil. The upper world is holiness.
Well, that's what they were mixing here.
That's what they're mixing at the mountain.
Yeah.
They're mixing the lower world with the upper world. And what's the problem? At this point, it's connected. because it's fixing to make the flip. All right?
It's bad timing.
Horrible timing. Horrible timing. Timing is everything. The intention was right. They needed to gather all the Guvarot because as soon as the Guvarot goes up, it's all over with. It's all over with. It's mitigated. And then she, which is Guvarot, feminine, is holy of holies. It's back on the inside. But when it's on the outside, it's contaminated because it can get mud on it, so to speak. It can get cleep on it, hanging off of
But
Netzach and Hod.
the inside is constriction, and you're saying that's holy.
Yes.
And so
Absolutely.
expansion,
Well, when it's outside, it's exposed, even though if it's in a constricted state.
right?
It's still on the periphery. So I'm going to draw y'all a picture here, and I'm going to explain to y'all what is going on, because I went over this with Baxton, and it really helps explain everything. Now, do y'all remember our torus? If you always think in a toroidal movement, it will always come out perfect. So, we have straight light and we have curved light, correct? Straight light, curved light. Straight light, curved light. And this thing is moving constantly. Constantly. What is that? It's Leviathan. It's the secret of the two-tailed Leviathan. It's the secret of a Recon Peen. It's the secret of the Godhead. It's Metatron. This is the top, Catrael, Metatron, Sandalphone. This is the secret of Mon, the feminine stimulation.
So what is it? Is it feminine on the inside and
It's feminine on the outside and masculine on the inside. But here's the secret, it's moving. So Adam and Eve were what? Adam, they were male and female. It's moving. There is no gender. You see what I'm saying? When this thing is in motion, are you on the inside or are you on the outside? Are you on the inside? Where's location? Here's what is happening over the 6,000 year period. Let's just divide this into 6 pieces. Now, did I even do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Divide it into 6 pieces. All right? If we look at this as time, first 1,000 years, second 1,000 years, blah, 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 we're right here. But we're also as low as the thing can get. On the bottom of the, scraping the bottom of the barrel. And on the outside of this thing is just yuck. This is klipa. But guess what? As soon as that thing goes inside, it's mitigated. And it's all over with. And so what was Adam trying to do in the garden? He was trying to speed that thing up. He was trying to speed it up. What was Noah trying to do? Speed it up. He got in the Guvarot, into the wine, uncovered the nakedness.
well, the same thing?
Yeah.
As Guvarot as the Ervra. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, because what is this? This is Yesod energy. This is Yesod. This is feminine. This is curved. This is straight.
What'd you say was feminine?
The curved light.
Okay. That's. I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah, the curved light. The curved light. But here's the thing: when the outside becomes the inside,
Right.
that's the image of Adam and Eve.
Okay. Well, so when we're thinking about the Taurus, and you're going inside, you're going into the male, you're going into that. That's constriction because everything gets tight.
Well, it's fine if it's constriction in there because what is there? There is expansion.
So in my mind, on the inside, because everything is coming together and going up there, it's constriction, and then when it comes back out into the curved light, it's expansion.
It's only a model because where is the inside?
I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just saying the funnel gets smaller there, but where's there? and it's not a smaller space.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's light. It's the difference between light going straight and light making an arc.
Curved light, straight light.
Yeah, this light is not bigger than that light. It's just bending.
So we're not really getting involved with constriction and expansion right here with this model.
No.
I got you. I'm gonna leave that alone.
We're dealing with inside outside.
Okay, I
That
can
makes
deal with
more
that.
sense.
We're dealing with
I can deal with that.
we're dealing with inside outside, top and bottom, so to speak. All right? So what's the problem? They have created, and here's the answer. They have created the ultimate rocket fuel.
Right,
But it's not time.
right, right.
And so it is said that it was a decree from heaven. Same thing with Adam. Now this subject can only be discussed in a class like this. Because do you see where that's going? Adam goes to God and says, dude, it says right here in your Torah, because Adam knew the whole Torah, it says right here in your Torah that if you do this, Adam, man, shall die. Well, I'm the fall guy, dude. You set me up on the crack, on the fault line.
But he didn't want him to die. That's why he made the.
God said,
Right.
hey, it's part of the deal. It's part of the plan.
I'm just the patsy.
You know?
Right.
You know? And so what's happening here? Same fault line. Has to. It has to happen.
So
Now.
yeah, the golden calf was a decree from heaven.
Yes.
The
'Cause-
Nubarot, the wine, the Noah, that was a decree.
Yeah, because it's not, God is not fully expanded yet. He's not fully grown. You go from a state from Cottonute to Godloot, and this thing is growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, but it's just not ready yet. It's just not ready yet.
It's not mature.
Yeah, well, at this point, it was very mature, but still, if this would happen, we wouldn't even be here.
Right.
It has to follow an iteration of pattern.
Well,
And although they had the pattern figured out to the T,
there's got to be something going on. There's got to be some kind of iteration of sparks. They've got to be a number of people.
they're extracting everything out of the Erev Raw. Where do the sparks come from? The evil. They're all in the evil. They're all in the klipa. Moses is bringing and extracting those sparks out. Because who is he? He's Adam. Mm-hmm. Where did all this come from? And it says a new king arose in Egypt, the Nakash. Mm-hmm. And so he has to go down there and get all of the light that had emanated out during his 130-year period. Mm-hmm. And the Apples of the Orchard paints a beautiful story about that. And I guess what we can do, let's get into the apples here just for a little bit. And it starts out, they're talking here about the counting and the lifting of the head. And of course, whenever you say lifting of the head, we know in this class, depending on what level you at, or what head we're talking about. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. If we're talking about Keter, that's one thing. If we're talking about Yesod, that's another. Mm-hmm. All right? And so if they were going to count them, they're going to count them based on the covenant. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right? So let that be understood of how you can count. All right? Now, this idiom is lifting the head refers to the ascents of the light of Keter. And this is the illusion of the hair on the head. We got an echo here. I'm calling you back.
I thought Chad was repeating what you were saying.
I did too.
So see, here's
Did Linda ever make it on?
see here's here's the deal. You have hair on your head. There's a part in the middle. Everybody's hair will part in the middle.
Right.
at some point.
Mine really doesn't.
All right? And if it doesn't part in the middle, it's thin in the middle. See?
Right.
Well, no, but I mean, it just, when you
This
actually pull it apart,
this is
part that-
this
see
is
that?
Yesod.
See, it's gone.
This is the upper illusion of Yesod. This is Netzach and Hod. What happens to Netzach and Hod? Netzach and Hod provide the light for the lower worlds. What does that connect to?
Weird.
The beard. This is the secret.
That's why a lot of Jewish men don't shave this.
You
They
can't.
just keep it going.
Yeah, you can't. All right. So for Keter comprises of 10 subsphirot, as we know, and Netzach and Hod are half of one thing. So half a shekel. All right, which is 10, which it talks about in the Parsha. Keter is anatomically identified with the skull, though Netzach and Hod, because we're not talking about lower Yesod right now. We're talking about upper. We're talking about the Mohin, and Yesod is there. Okay, although is with let's just end it there. Keter's with the skull. Therefore, they have to ascend back so that the element of judgment can be scented. This is the secret of all the myrrh and all the scents, because what did we've studied before, that in the incense and all the perfumes and stuff, evil can't stay around. All right? So because Teferet is what? Israel.
Okay.
And who are the children of Israel? The children of Israel? Netzach and Hod. Moshe and Aaron. And who is in the middle?
Josh.
Joseph.
Oh, Josh.
And now we see the ox. But we're getting the backside of the ox. And the sorcerers took the knowledge from the front side of the ox. Back in Egypt. This is the quote unquote deal with the devil. All right? Let's continue. All of this applies to the inner light. Pinimi. Remember the inner light? The pinimi? But encompasses the light makif. The or makif, the surrounding light. Because the makif is the kings of the Tohu that died. If y'all remember back then. They issued forth in states of judgment because they were not scented. That's why you're always seeing the burning of the incense and all. Because they weren't scented. In other words, because the light hadn't it's scented means it smells going upwards. It's refracting going back. It just went down and fell. It wasn't reflected back or refracted back. But these that were scented endured. The lights of Tohu allude to the kings of Edom who died. Isn't it interesting the word Edom and Adam are really, really close? We're also in states of judgment. Each sphere of Tohu is purely itself and did not contain within it any element of any other sphere. In other words, the sphere they were trying to be individuals. They weren't all connected. Like these are always connected. Not only are they connected, they are always overlapping. That's the difference of unity. That's the difference of self and self alone, and receiving for ego and self alone. Mm-hmm. If you're not connected, you're not one with anything. And that's the secret of being in the Tohu or not being in the Tohu. You have to be connected to Israel. Why? Because Israel's connected to Bina, with the world to come. Mm-hmm. On the Parsuf level, on the national level, on a personal level. Because whatever we iterate here, iterates. You see? That's the secret of having a rabbi. So, now, The purpose of the hairs that covers the neck is so the forces of evil cannot gaze at it. Because that is where it tries to attach itself. Now, and they said give half a shekel. Because the male yesod takes its contents from the right and left side, right? Yesod takes its contents from Netzach and Hod, which would be the testes. So it gets its contents from there, all right? Which is half of 20 is 10, because the two halves, they're one of two halves, all right? So this is the meaning of the phrase you find in the Parsha, the wealthy will not give more and the poor will not give less than half. It's the same. The wealthy refers to Teferet, and the poor refers to Yesod. So, all the spices and all that deal and all the weights, we see a lot of 500. And anytime you see 5, you have to go left side. 5 is always associated with either Guvarot or Bina. So anytime you see 5 or 500, it's always Bina. Bina is the world to come, the supernal mother. All right.
So that's 5 or 500?
Well, it's always 5, and then you have 10 Sphirot, so then that's 50. So there was 50 days. You know, you count the Omar for 49 days, and then you're at 50 days. So you're always trying to get to Bina. That's the secret of counting the Omer.
Well, so this is the you're saying that this is the side of 5.
Yes. Well, it's always 5 and 5. But you see what I'm saying? But when they refer to 5, they're usually always referring to the left side, because when they refer to this side, it's always mitigated. It's always, it's always 10 commandments. You see what I'm saying?
So when you're on the Hesed side, it's always 10.
It's usually always 10.
I got you.
You follow me?
I got you. Man. I got you.
When they're speaking of it.
And that makes sense because it's an even number. It can be divided half.
Yeah. 10 commandments. That's why you have.
balanced.
Yeah, if you're on the left, you're only talking about half of it. When you're on the right, you're talking about all of it.
That's right. That's right.
Got you.
That's right. Because when it says the right hand of God, well, guess what? That includes judgment and mercy.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's the hand of God, Elohim, judgment only, no mercy. So,
Gotcha.
you see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So you have to really watch close how they're talking here. Chad, you had something? What page was that? That was a brief synopsis of page 481 in the Apples. And also in here he goes through the Sabbath, and remember it talks about there's two in the first version he said remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. In the second version it says guard the Sabbath at day to keep it holy as God your God commanded you. See how he added something? That's not what he said the first time. So they made a mistake, and or God just kind of ad-libbed it. It's really not the words of God. And then it said, honor your father and mother in order that your days be long in the land of your God that God has given you. And then it says, then the second verse says, no, honor your father and mother as God your God commanded you in order that your days be long and in order that it be well with you in the land your God. So they're adding things. Well, what's he talking about? The first one is their Anpin and Nukva, your father and mother. And it's just specific. It doesn't have to allude to end your days and all your life days, because it's above it. And the second one is honor your father and mother here. So even in the way the commandments were given, one is given on a loftier level, and the second time it's rehearsed or versed from Moses' mouth, it's given on a lower level. It's always as above and below. That, just like the tabernacle. The tabernacle here, the tabernacle there. All right? And so this is talking about keep the Sabbaths. When it's a plural type of word, it's talking about
everyday Sabbaths, not your high Sabbaths.
Yeah, what's going on is the Sabbath is also happening up there too. So there's When it's masculine and feminine, it's Sabbaths. All right? Now, I don't know if we need to get into this soul thing. I think it may freak people out.
You have
What
a good
are you
audience
talking
here.
about?
You have a good audience right
You
here.
don't do nothing. You don't do nothing but freak us out.
All right, everybody buckle up. And there arose a new king over Egypt. And this king derived his impurities from the pollution of the soul of Moses.
The impurity of the soul.
The impurities of and the pollution of the soul of Moses. Where in the world did Moses do pollution at? Remember my story I just got through talking about?
Well, he had to get it from the klipa, if he's Adam, and if
He's Adam. All that emanated light in the 130 years. This is what brought about this whole thing. This is why Moses went down there in the beginning, to get it all back. All right? So, we know we have transmigration of souls going on here.
Right.
Okay? And Moses' soul is derived from Da'at, knowledge, the tree of Zeranpin, knowledge of good and evil. All right? So, the Rizal explains that the mixed multitude were indeed in need of elevation, and eventually, but Moses tried to do this prematurely. This is an evidence in a classic example of the Baal Shem Tov's teaching that every process of spiritual growth must proceed through 3 levels and stages. 1, ego, in order to gain new insight. 2, separation of good and evil, in order to purify your insight. And 3, sweetening of the impure elements of the insight and the power to generate pure insight. Moses was trying to skip the separation part. He brought them along.
so he brought the raw along.
Yeah, he just included them in. Nonetheless, they still contained the mixture of the holy sparks as we have fleshed out over some weeks. And this is why Moses exerted all his energy to gather the mixed multitude under the wings of the divine presence, that is, to convert them to Judaism. We find a similar phenomenon with Balaam, about whom our sages is, when the Torah says, "And there arose no prophet in Israel like Moses. But there was a prophet outside of Israel as powerful as Moses." Balaam. Right?
That's right.
Who was the backside of Moshe? Who is? So if you've got Adam on the front, you got Nakash on the back. If you got Jacob on the front,
Esau on the back,
or Laban on the back.
or Laban, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's always red seal, nothing. Red seal, nothing. Evil, holiness. Evil, holiness. And inside, goodness. All right? So, yeah, that's not Torah. So this is and this is part of the verse. And Rachel stole her father's teraphim. That Laban the Aramean was reincarnated as Balaam the son of Beor. Beor was Laban's son and Balaam's father, whose whole family was derived from one common source, as we have mentioned, that all from the impurities of the soul of Moshe. This includes Laban, Beor, and Balaam. And Balaam's 2 sons, Eunice and Yambres, the 2 sorcerers, the 2 people that built the golden calf, are mentioned in the Zohar, which we'll cover if we have a little time. Therefore, they were all great magicians and sorcerers, without equal anywhere in the world. Now, what happens is, I'll just read on. Now, I've already informed you in the gates of reincarnation, which we're not going to get into, as well as in my discussion about the grace commandment of grace after meals, So why does he throw the commandment of grace after meals in, right, this is the Ari, right in here with reincarnation?
Well, because that's the completion of elevating the sparks at the end. When you say, you say your Baruch at the beginning.
Perfect. All right. So this is really good, Russell. So you're elevating the sparks. You're elevating the sparks of holiness.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to the other sparks?
They turn ashes.
Well, I didn't know there was other sparks. Are there unholy sparks?
Your finger, you have to dip them.
Oh,
Clean them.
yeah, I got you.
You got to feed the other side
Yeah,
because you can't mix.
upper and lower.
All right. All right. So
you wash you dip your before you.
yeah. So you got your water in here
Okay.
and dip your hands. Well, what do you eat? You eat the animal, the mineral, and the plant. Now, for those of you studying in Russell's class, these are the 4 places a soul is. So once you've eaten from animal material and plant, and you've blessed your food, and you've extracted the holy sparks, the holy souls, from reincarnated people that fell into that because they were not holy. You have elevated them. You have elevated them back to holiness, and the crumbs you have to feed to the other side, so they can be regenerated. This is the secret of the golden calf. Now,
But why? If you don't feed them, they won't be regenerated. Maybe they'll
because
go.
what does the ox
There you go, Teresa.
eat? What does the ox eat?
Minerals and animals. I mean plants.
Plants.
He eats the minerals in the plant.
So, what does it say about the ox? It says
The ox elevates his food. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and in the portion,
And we elevate the ox.
it talks about the ox and its grass. So, let's continue, and we will learn a little bit more about this story. So we went over these levels here. Now, Beor, the father of Balaam, was reincarnated into the vegetable kingdom. But he was not able to proceed in his rectification by ascending to the animal kingdom, because he was so polluted by evil. He was undoubtedly the highest aspect of impurities in this soul root. So therefore his grandsons Eunice and Jambres, the sorcerers, who were the leaders of the mixed multitude, as is known, as well as the mixed multitude themselves, all wanted him to be rectified. For his elevation would mean the elevation for them, because they are all connected into that thing. So they examined and understood this through their magic, that the only way possible for him to ascend would be if they made the Israelites sin. Through this, the forces of evil would be strengthened, and they would be able to extradite the soul of their grandfather Beor into the vegetable kingdom. The sin of the Israelites would be added to the fact that the sin would occur through Aaron, the high priest. Because, as you know, Russell, if the highest person sins, the greater the sin.
Right.
If a lowly person sins, the sin is low. But if you are a holy person and you sin, the greater the volume, the more energy, the more Guvarot.
The greater the sin.
The holier the sinner, the greater the evil he generates when he sins. The holier the person, the more divine power he embodies. Therefore, the more light the other side can feed off of. This is why they said, and it says, and they surrounded Aaron. They came around Aaron. Added to this would be the fact that they possess the same golden plate that ascribed the words, "Ascend, O ox." And I went in and explained all that already. Thus they devised to make the golden calf, which was also called an ox. With the powerful magic tools in their mouth, they upset the order in the supernal realms. All the powers we mentioned combined together, that all the evil that generated by the Jews that sinned, that the magic powers they possessed, and that of the holiness of Aaron, and that of the holy name etched into the golden plate that was used to elevate Joseph from the Nile. This combination produced the golden calf, which was animated by spiritual life force, which animated the spiritual life force of their grandfather Beor. Beor thus ascended from the vegetable to the animal kingdom, and the mixed multitude accepted him as their leader, whom would inform them of the future of them and tell them whatever they needed to know. As you know, the golden calf walked around and spoke because it came alive, because they were in Atzilut. And all of this is possible by the fact that they made the Israelites sin. They made them sin. How in the world could they make them sin? Because they were connected in thought. Just like Eve made Adam sin.
Yeah, there's only one thing.
There's
there.
only one thing there, and it's connection.
And yeah, and if part of it sinned, all of it sinned.
Yeah, and cause see, what were they saying? They were saying it. And it says, and Havayah led them in the desert, and Havayah led them, and Hashem, and Havayah, and Havayah, and Havayah, and they said, what are they? They're from the side of Elohim. Havayah is from the side of mercy, Hesed. Elohim's from the side of judgment. They are from the side of judgment. That's why they said, oh, Israel, this is your Elohim. See what they did? Everything from the left side, everything that fell out from the left side, over here, with nothing but Elohim, it's nothing but judgment, everything had been brought over here and was being rectified in Tikkun. But what did they do? Since they were from this side, they made Elohim. And guess what? Right back over. Right back over. All right. So let's read on here. They devised to make the golden calf, which is called an ox, with the powerful magic tools in their mouth. All right, the wicked Beor and the calf. Here we go. The son of the wicked Beor, who was present in the calf, was who yelled out, saying, "This is your God. This is your Elohim, O Israel," as the sages have stated. To explain, since Beor was incarnate in the vegetable kingdom as grass, the golden calf ate the grass in order to extradite Beor's soul that was incarnated there. By eating the grass, the limbs of the calf became animated one by one, and Beor's soul was thus ascended to the vegetable, from the vegetable kingdom to the animal kingdom. And they accomplished this through the power of their magic. This is why they made the calf in the month of Tammuz. For that is the last month of the time the reincarnation ascended from the vegetable to the, that's the last time that can take place. That is the time. And if you look at the year of the ox and the time of the ox and all that stuff, it's always around Easter over there, which is Tammuz. So anyway, that is some pretty cool stuff.
The Chinese say we're the year of the ox.
Or the year of the snake, I thought.
That is the Ari. It's do y'all want to?
Is that still around page 481?
Yeah, and on past. I just kind of paraphrase some of that. Now. If y'all want to do a little more, or are y'all done?
I'm here.
Okay.
There's just so much in here. If y'all will turn to chapter 32. 32:1. And the people saw that Moses had delayed in descending the mountain. And the people gathered around Aaron, as we just explained, and said to him, rise up and make us Elohim that will go before us, not before y'all. You see how I just explained that? It's right there in the Parashat. That will go before us. For this man Moses, who brought us up the land of Egypt, we do not know because of him. They don't even, remember Pharaoh, he said, I don't know who Hashem is. I don't know Havayah. Elohim I know. Havayah I don't know. They didn't know him either. So they're trying to get back on that side. And Aaron said to them,
Well, they said they don't know what became of him.
Because Moses was gone all the time,
Yeah.
speaking to Hashem.
yeah. And so anyway, they talked Aaron into all this. Now, you see in verse 7 there, so Hashem spoke to Moses, go descend, get thee down, whatever, go descend. This is the fall. That's the fall of Adam. That's where it fell. Go down. You can't be up here. Go down.
So on the Peshat level,
What is that? What verse was that?
7.
So it's not meaning go check on your people.
No. You got to get down, dude. That's fallen. Kaput. Yeah. So, I want y'all to look at this word delayed in verse 32. Beshish, which means in the 6th hour. It means in the 6th hour. Now, when did Adam and Eve sin in the garden?
In the 6th hour.
In the 6th hour. All right? It's the iteration of the story all over again. This is what's going on. And this is what they knew. You have to always tell yourself, all these people are masters. Even if they're evil, they still know. You know? And let's, I want to get into the golden calf a little bit. I mean, I know I read to y'all about some golden calf, but that ain't nothing.
But this says they worshipped it. In verse 8.
That's the Erevah.
Oh, okay.
But guess what? The Erevah is connected to Israel at this point.
because they're not salute.
That's where the problem came
That's
from.
where the problem came from. Yeah. Israel didn't worship it. But yes, they did. You see the problem?
They worship it by proxy.
And proxy is really close at that point.
It was approximate.
Look in there and find where, and Moses mixed it, Moses ground it up and mixed it with the waters. Remember when he said that?
Oh, yeah.
And made him drink it? Where in the world did he get water?
What's his?
He's an Atzilut.
Well, no. Now they've fallen.
Yeah.
So they're
good,
not still
good,
there.
Stacy, good. But water, it can either be Hesed or Guvurot, depending if it is
Running.
Mitigated or unmitigated?
Mitigated,
It was
running.
contained or flowing. Okay.
So he gets this water. Where in the world did the water come from? When it happened, the firmament of heaven and the ocean of the abyss, the flood came and approached Moshe and said, we're going to wipe it out. And that's when God said, and with you, I will start a whole new deal. What did he tell Noah? See, there's a story of Noah.
Right.
And then he pled for it. He said, no, we're going to fix this.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
You took the calf and burned it in fire, ground it to fine powder, sprinkled it in the water, made the children of Israel drink it.
Yeah, sprinkled it in the water. All right? They're in the middle of the desert. And I know there was the well of Miriam and all these other things. But, so the ocean literally came to Moses and said,
33:20.
and said,
Yeah.
we're fixing to wipe it all out. You know? And he was like, and so Moses was gonna get the fresh start, and he said, and I will start again with you and your family type of deal, just like he said with Noah. All right, and Moses said, no, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna grind it up, and I'm gonna make them drink you. All right, because the flood, the water is what destroyed everything. So guess what happened? They drank it. Those who drank it, who took part in it,
Are the ones who are gonna die.
they swole up the next morning and they were dead.
Kind of like the woman and the, what is that called? Is it
Yeah.
called the
Yeah.
yeah. It's
the tip of floor, sweeping up the dust from the tip of floor?
yeah.
and the
It's
woman
it's
drinks
it's
it.
like it's the
Adulterers.
it's
The
the-
adultery thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
it's-
word for that.
yeah. I know it. Let me see here.
32:20.
It's the bitter waters.
What is
So
it
then
called?
the heir of Ra then were no more, period.
Well, the ones that took part in it were
So there could have been ones that did not?
There
well,
has to be, or
there
we
has to
wouldn't
be,
here.
or they wouldn't be here. Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
only the 3,000 that
3,000.
took part in it.
Oh, I read this and I thought this was very apropos. It says, all the friends who study Torah together must love one another. Otherwise, they cause blemish in their counterparts above. Like
I love all y'all.
Abraham,
I love
Isaac,
all
Jacob, you know, and all right. Here's something that happened. Go, get you down, for your people have become corrupt. 32:7. When the Holy One, blessed be He, saw this, He hinted to him and pressed him and said, "Now therefore let me alone, you know, and let me get mad, and I'm gonna whoop him." And this was the thing that caused God to save the people. Because if He'd have just said, "Now get thee down," Moses went, "Okay." And he'd have gotten down, and there would have been nobody there to mitigate it. But because He said, "Get thee down and let my wrath, you know, and let me, I'm fixing to whoop their butts." What happens when Dad gets mad at the boys, Mom's in the room, and he says, "Get out of here, I'm fixing to tear their butts up." "Oh, no, 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 honey, no, 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 don't do that."
You talked to the wrong person there.
You know? And so this is called holding the arm or holding the hand of God. In other words, He held him back. You know, I'm gonna kick his butt. Don't let me go. You know, don't let me go. That's what Moses did. And God gave him the hint by telling him, "Hey, get out of here, so I can kindle my wrath here."
Well, at least it wasn't like my dad. Every time I hit the bed, you yell, "Just don't let your mama catch me."
And there's a psalm that says they exchanged their glory for the likeness of an ox. What is the meaning of eating grass? For the words likened to an ox eats grass. We've already expounded upon it. And it is, they cause the blemish in the mother, which is the Malchut of Bina. And it is, there's a story here. It's likened to I don't even want to get into that. The significance of the earrings were corresponding to 3 levels of the worlds: Berea, Yetzirah, and Asiya. What saved the whole thing is, and tomorrow is a feast to Hashem. Because if he wouldn't have said there's going to be a feast to Hashem, the word Hashem, if he'd have said tomorrow a feast to Elohim,
Wipe them out.
they'd have,
Right.
Aaron, everybody would have been wiped out. You know? But see, he goes, "Oh no, tomorrow's a feast to Hashem." And what he was doing is trying to delay him anyway, because Aaron knew what time it was, just like they knew what time it was. Aaron knew when he was coming back. And it talks about the people's names in here.
Well, you know what I thought was interesting about the earrings? It said that take the earrings from your wives, sons, and daughters. Doesn't even say for the men, just wives, sons, and daughters.
Those
So
are the 3 levels. Berea,
Everybody
Yetzirah,
wore
and Asiya.
earrings back then.
Wives is,
Dina.
sons is,
The next level.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yetzirah?
Oh, yes, serious.
Zara.
Yeah.
Yitzhak, Zeramping, and daughters are
See,
Asiya,
Yes.
Malchut, Rachel. Yeah, Nupha. See, that's the code.
I just thought that was weird that back then everybody wore earrings apparently.
Yeah. What verse was that?
That's what the same one that says melt the golden calf. Way back in the beginning. So Isaiah, his daughters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, something very interesting here in the
32.
Zohar.
Yeah, 32.
You know the cloud that went before him day and night and all that stuff?
Mhm.
You know it didn't cover the Arab Raw. It only covered Israel. That's why they wanted to make something that would go before them and protect them. That was the reason they made it. Until this time, the mixed multitude was subdued. But now they arose and searched action, and when they did, they strengthened the other side. And they caused separation. Aaron's intention was good, but many of Israel joined the mixed multitude in their hearts, which is their minds. Therefore, when Moses came and had them purified and cleansed the holy nation of the sin, he gave them the drink until they were all cleansed, and no refuse at all remained in them. It is written, and he received the gold in their hands and fashioned it with a grave tool. It says in here in the Zohar, if he hadn't taken it from their hands, it was the hands, the upper level, that gave it the power of Aaron. If he'd have said put it on the ground, whatever ground in absolute is, if he'd have said put it on the ground and then picked it up off the ground, it wouldn't have worked. But that's why they had Aaron get it, because they had to get it from his hands. The seventh hour of the day arrived. Immediately he gave it to Aaron. Then he said to them, first put the gold on the ground and I will pick it up from the ground. And they were like, nah. And he received the gold in their hands. See, what Aaron did, a prophet, wise man, is he did not know how to protect himself. For had he taken it from the ground, all the magicians, magic in the world would have not been successful. And because of Aaron did this, Eunice and Yambres are the backside of Netzach and Hod, and this is why he had to lose his son Nadav and Abihu. That was the measure for measure. All right. Fashion it with an engraving tool. That has nothing to do with an engraving tool. It interprets. There's three things that happen. Fashioned with an engraving tool. That is, he wrapped it in a cloth. And the first, there was accepting from the hands. Second, he did not throw it on the ground. And third, he wrapped it in the cloth. This is called the engraving tool, because there's no engraving tools there. It's all metaphoric, so to speak. But when you're there, it's not metaphor. That's the secret of the Zohar. Threw it into the fire. Why do they throw it into the fire? What's the fire? Guvarot. See?
So at absolute level, Guvarot is fire.
Yes. And down here it's you.
go figure.
And it says, and when Aaron saw, he saw the other side become stronger. So he gripped the remedy, which is the secret of Malchut, and said, tomorrow it is a feast of Hashem. Oh, there's just so much. Therefore, there were calves because the first garment of the other side dons as an ox, as we said earlier. And you may question, Why is it called a calf and not an ox? Certainly this is the way it should be in any case, because one first donned something small, which is a calf, as explained. So it was the golden calf, but this thing grew. And it was called an ox. But they call it from its first
Yeah, how did
emanation,
it grow
the
like
calf.
that?
Because it had all the power of the light.
Well, you know, once you're up there,
In the eighth
everything
grade.
comes back up a level, and it can grow, and the inanimate will grow like a. This is something I can't do.
It's
in
like Jack and the
class.
Beanstalk.
I can't say how everything fell down a notch. Well, when everything is elevated back up, in other words, the inanimate that fell down here becomes like the animal, and the plant becomes like I mean the inanimate becomes like the plant. The plant becomes like the animal, and the animal becomes like the person, and
And even though it was inanimate,
even
it
though
still grew.
But you know
Yeah,
what?
because there's nothing inanimate.
You know
Even the rocks speak and everything.
the Cecil D. DeMille thing that they depicted the calf sitting, and it had a calf head, but it was sitting, and I go, why? You know, I've always wondered that, like, why would they do that? Well, that half of it was a donkey, and a donkey sits, and you could never get what was going. I mean, I don't even know how they did it, but that's just interesting.
One of the things here is let's see here. Before they sinned, they heard the voice from above, from Bina, and they knew supernal wisdom, but they were not afraid. But after they sinned, they were not able to endure even the lower voice of male and female, which is Zarampin and Nukva. As it is written, and they heard the voice in the garden, and they were afraid. See how the story's mirroring itself? And then the Holy One, blessed be He, girded them with belts of letters of the holy name, which is the secret of the ornaments by Mount Horeb, which Shemot 33:6, so that the serpent would not be able to have power over them and defile against them. And he goes on to say, and this is the secret of, and the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by Mount Horeb. Shemot 33:6. For the armor they had received at Mount Horeb, the garments, okay, was removed from them so that the evil serpent could not have power over them. Once it was removed from them, it is written, and Moses would take the tent and pitch it outside the camp, far away from the camp. When Moses knew the supernal honor was removed from the children of Israel, he said, surely from now on the evil serpent will come and dwell among them and defile them. Immediately Moses would take the tent and pitch it up outside the camp, far off, because Moses foresaw that the evil serpent would have power over them, unlike what was before. It even says in here, Joshua son of man, Metatron. So anyway, there's a ton in here. We've gone a good hour and a half, so to speak. The angel that goes before him is in here. You know, that whole part of that story. And the deeper you go, the deeper you dig. You know, and the higher elevated you start trying to study on that level, it just opens up a whole new world of what's going on in the Parsha and in the Peshat. But when you read it, it just, when you go back next year and you start reading these Parshas, a whole new world ought to come.
It will.
Ought to
Yeah.
come into your mindset. And from now on, when you read the Parshas, read it on that level. Read it looking for, wonder what this is, you know, and to attain for their souls, you know. And they took silver. Why? Because silver's hesed, you know. Silver's hesed. And why attain for their soul? Because on that level, their soul is coming from a recon peen, you know. That's all that stuff is going on there. So anyway, any questions, answers? Nothing? Okay.
Pretty interesting.
Well, Torah's amazing. The sages are amazing. And we will see y'all next week in Wednesday night in the Parsha.